Good afternoon and welcome to the Independent Living Resident Council for May. I'm pleased to see all of you here, and when some refreshments are set up, you may go get your refreshments. Don't talk too much at the coffee pot. But we are always grateful for the support of the staff in setting up the meeting, as we are today as well, grateful. So Don Weber has gone north to see the glaciers, and so I am also grateful that Patricia Hoppe will be the acting vice president today. So Patricia, if you would introduce our invocation speaker.
So today we have Tony Andrich from Area 28 to do the invocation.
When Don asked me to give the invocation, I was a little taken aback because I'm not a pastor, I've never been associated with the clergy, but today I did try to wear my most clerical. I think if I stand behind the podium like this, you can't even tell I'm wearing shorts. All right, well, let's pray. Most wise and attending God, we thank you most for this amazing day. We thank you for your living presence, your spirit that gives us life. We thank you that you watch over us and give us strength and health and the capabilities of doing the good work of living within this community. We pray for this council today as they discuss the business of this campus, that you would give them clear minds and a clear understanding of the task before them, that you would give them clear direction about what is best for this community, that they would set aside any petty interests that might garble and stonewall the effective communication of this committee, that you would give them a clear vision for the work that lies ahead. We ask these things in the name of our Most High God, who watches over us and protects us in all of our pursuits, whose love never quits, who keeps us from stumbling, who will raise us up again on that last day. May God and his everlasting love rest upon each of you as you meet today.
Thank you, Tony. So I'll ask Peggy for the roll call.
We've met a quorum.
Okay, quorum is met. And now we will move to approve the minutes for the previous meeting in April. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Linda.
Second.
Thank you very much.
Who seconded? Oh.
Paul. So, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Minutes approved. Treasurer's report. Susan?
As a reminder, I'm reporting on the total amounts of both our checking and our prepaid debit card, so just the total amounts. Detailed statements are available if you want to review them. So we received our quarterly funding this month of $200 from the administration, and there was no spending for the women's breakfast as there was no speaker for this month's women's breakfast. The men's breakfast spent $24 for March, which was reimbursed this month of April, and then $10 for April. So the balance at the end of April is $701. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Susan. I will give some brief instructions that we do every meeting. Most important, of course, is the welcome to the residents that have come to watch the council, and the welcome to all the area reps serving in the capacity that you do. Any resident may speak at council by requesting in advance 3 minutes, putting that request in writing to the executive committee 1 week before council meets. However, other than that, it is only members of council that have the opportunity to speak. Area reps will have the floor to ask general questions during the area rep Q&A time, and they may ask for clarifying questions directed to any of the spokespersons when they give their report, executive committee, administrative staff committee reports, but focus on clarifying questions for the topics that they addressed. To make a motion, we encourage you to put the motion in writing so we can have a record. We ask that the committee representatives making their report summarize activities verbally and provide them in writing for the addendum, and focus on the activities in ways in which the residents can be involved. So I will move to what's on the agenda listed as a President's Report to the Mennonite Village Board. And there is no addendum report that I'll submit this month, because it will be the same report that I submitted for the month of April. And that is because, as we know, the board had a retreat last month, and so they didn't have the traditional or typical board packet that would have included the council president's report. So they'll get it this month, or actually got it last week, because their meeting was in the 1st of May. So at this point, I want to move the microphone and the opportunity to update council to Bill Roberts, our resident representative to the board.
Thank you. She turned me off.
Linda, your chair's on the floor. There you go.
I need a little more rope to hang myself with. Just kidding, just kidding. Okay, the May 1st Mennonite Village Board meeting lasted approximately 2 hours, and about half of that time was taken up with a virtual Greystone project update. After the presentation and questions from the attendees, the board voted to approve the continuation of the planning process for expansion leading to construction of 60 cottages and a 24-bed memory care facility. Greystone reported the project timelines are on time and on budget, which is a good word. And then the board always reserves a little time, or has reservations about my time. No, the board gives me time to share with them things that the executive committee has asked that I share with the board about what's going on in the village and what's on the mind of residents. And so I had 4 ideas that I shared with the board. The first was the village grounds have never looked so good. The second was villagers are nervous with all the U.S. economic waves and uncertainty, such as the impact of tariffs on prices, the possibility construction costs could go up even more, the possibility that Mennonite Village might not receive Medicare payments from the government on a timely basis. Number 3, for planning purposes, the residents would appreciate perhaps some more sawdust trails or paths on the soon-to-be-developed East Side Cottage area, maybe extending out to the nearest lake. Number 4, residents were excited to hear the board had a planning retreat. Now residents are wondering what's next. How will the plans for the future be shared with folks, and how residents can have input as the plan develops? Perhaps management and the board could use some resident focus groups to gather some input as the strategic plan is developed and refined. So those were the 4 ideas that I shared with them coming from the executive committee. Other important information gleaned from the board reports were, as of March 31st of 2025, number 1, the net operating margin was a minus 4.2% versus a plan of a positive 1.7% for 6 months. Number 2, operating revenues were below plan by 4.4%, and operating expenses were over plan by 1.3%. During the period October 1st through March 31st, cash increased by just under $1.4 million for the Mennonite Village. At the June Mennonite Village meeting, the Chief Financial Officer will provide an updated budget and forecast for the remaining 6 months of fiscal year 2025. On May 29th at 3 o'clock, the Chief Financial Officer will be giving a presentation that will include a report out on the 9/30/24 year-end audit results and our half-year results for the current year through March. Other relevant information as of March 31st Employee turnover is improving when compared to prior years. Last but not least, the Mennonite Village Board approved 2 members at large and 1 Mennonite Village resident to be on the foundation board. The 2 members at large are Jody Konzelman and Averill Kohler. Hope I didn't murder those names. And then the resident is John Harrelson. So that's it. That's the fastest or the longest 3.5 minutes report ever. Any questions? Comments wise or otherwise? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bill. So we'll move to the committee summary reports. Security Advisory Team, do you have a report? Yes.
Lynn McGuire, Area 12. The report is there's nothing to report, and so as always, if you see something, please say something in a timely manner.
Thank you, Lynn. Emergency Preparedness?
No report, we didn't meet.
Okay, no report. Grounds Committee?
Grounds Committee talked about several different things. One of the things, there's a new corkboard in the garden, so if you have now something on there, it's a brand new corkboard. Residents requesting help from grounds maintenance for personal landscaping in your area around your home. There's a charge. If landscaping is done by the crew from the grounds department, and that's $50 an hour. There's been a request to submitted to move the picnic table that was under the oak tree over to the gazebo by the Rose Garden. And a big thank you today to the grounds crew for trimming back all those branches that were hanging down over the Oak Creek path. They were really getting kind of in the way. Thank you.
Thank you, Barb. Garden Committee. She's in the middle, they'll fight over you, Linda, 2 mics.
Hospitality Women's Breakfast is May 15th at 9 a.m. in the dining room at Ashby. Our speaker is from the Time Garden, which we had a calendar mix-up last month, but she will be here this time. Okay, can we go ahead with garden? While I'm here. Okay, the weeds are mowed. The in-ground plots will not be tilled until after May 17th because Bob won't be back from Ireland until then. And then once it's worked, and then he has to mark it out with the stakes. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Villagers Video Production. Patricia, behind you. Patricia. Oh, is it Janelle? Sorry, Janelle, I saw you walking. I thought it was towards the microphone. Thank you, Barb.
Leading Age Oregon Innovative Program Award is going to be over in Sun River, I believe, on the luncheon, and they have 4 members of our group going to that luncheon on May 22nd. They're still looking for more craft and hobbies. We had a really exciting recording this last week about cannons that one of our members out there makes. We're also looking at more Mad Hatter opportunities. If you have a hat collection, 3 or 4 or more, or something like that, we'd love to hear about it. We also are looking for more lifetime stories, and these can be anything from childhood experiences to young adult or whatever. Things like what happened to you before you moved to the village, or maybe after you got here, most interesting experience in your lifetime, whatever. Something that you would like to share, just a short story with other residents. And this week we have on channel 1981, we have some more of the Albany history that's being read, a couple of poems by different residents. We also have Bob Volker's series on emergency preparedness. And if you want to take a walk visually on Iron Mountain wildflowers that come out every June and May and June, it's on there also. Oh, we have an activity group meeting this coming Friday, I believe. And we'd like to welcome you to come and give your ideas and help us think of some more things to report. Plus, we have cookies.
Thank you. And it's really important to note that opportunity in Sun River this month is Leading Age Oregon giving the award for innovation to Villagers Video's production of the Mennonite Village. So I'd like to give them a round of applause and congratulations. So, Craig Glasser, if you're looking for applause, facilities report is next.
All right. Hello, everyone, on this beautiful day. Just a couple items I wanted to bring up. So pressure washing. Pressure washing has started officially today. We've started on Becker Circle, and this will probably take about 2 to 3 weeks. Our contractor is actually pressure washing Quail Run and Mennonite Home, the 3-story building. And then they will be working on Becker Circle as well. And then the two groups will kind of form and finish out the project. So they will be on Becker Circle, finish Becker Circle, work down on Davidson, and then 54th and then 53rd will be towards the end. Couple things to note, just bear with us. This is kind of a brand new thing. We have contractors doing the work instead of our ground staff. And so there's going to be some difference. You'll probably see that. But if there's concerns, bring them up. And if you have, just any comments, concerns, bring that up. And then they'll be working, Grounds is working with them. And if there's things that need to be addressed, Andy will be kind of addressing those as needed. So bear with us as we kind of try a brand new thing. Biggest thing is if you have pieces of yard art or things on your patio that you don't want broken, please remove those before they get going. We just don't want things getting broken if they are moving things. Signage decor guidelines, just a couple things, a reminder. So we have our deadline for removing or either asking for permission for decor items to stay in common spaces. We would like to have that by May 16th, and then on May 19th, our grounds will probably start going around and removing items that haven't been requested for permission. So i.e. if they don't have a little tag on them, then we're gonna start taking those away. One thing to note is we will not remove birdhouses right now because there's lots of birds making nests in those houses. We're gonna wait till probably this fall to start taking those out. So we're gonna leave those. If you can leave your thing, your item in common spaces, we just need you to ask for approval. How to do that is to put in a work order. And then we'll get a little tag for you and get those tags on those items in the community spaces. Let's see, what else? Any item that's being removed, part of the reason we want these tagged is because we don't know who all the owners are. If you've placed an item away from your house on a walking path, grounds, whoever have no idea whose item that is. And so that's why we want those identification tags. It's really not to remove the art or the decoration. We really just need to know who that is. And then as they kind of get weathered and worn out, we can contact the owner and say, hey, we probably need to repaint this birdhouse or it needs to get kind of cleaned up. So that's really our motivation behind that. A couple of things to just questions that have come up about this. So you do not need to get approval for your own decorations around your house. So around your house, you don't need to get special, work order. You don't need to put in a work order and get special permission for that. There's been some confusion about that. No need for that. Your house is your space. How do we know where our property ends and common space begins? That's a great question, and I don't know. It's very individual because some houses it's very defined. It makes sense. This is your yard. Other spaces, it's not. So we're taking this kind of case by case. We're going to kind of defer. They're going to be loosely, I'm going to say translated that's probably your yard space. If it's within, 30, 40 feet of your home on a corner or something like that, that's probably I'm going to consider that your yard space. So just so all residents know, that's kind of how we're interpreting that. Use your best judgment. If you have questions, you can send me an email or talk to our ground staff. Will administration discuss possible changes or removal of the items, will administration discuss possible changes, removal with the item's owner? So that's why we want to have the tags in common spaces. If we can identify the owner, yes, we'll have a conversation with you if we have to remove it for whatever reason, if it's damaged or getting kind of out of sight. And then also around your yard, we're going to talk to you if there's any concerns, if administration has any concerns. We would have conversations before we just remove something, 100%. So it's all about having conversations and working together. How will this be enforced? So we've got a couple questions, and I kind of combined these. How will this be enforced, and will my neighbors be able to weigh in? And yeah, I thought that was going to get a chuckle. Here's where we're wanting to go with this. We do not want to create a culture of I call it tattletaling to my kids. So-and-so did this, or so-and-so broke the rules because they have this. We don't want to create that culture. We want to create a culture of community. That is really our intent of these guidelines, and the guidelines really were to kind of set that measuring bar so that we can refer to something because we really didn't have anything. So we don't want to create a culture of neighbors kind of saying, well, they have this and I don't think that should be there. We really don't want to create that, and I don't think all of you really want that. So we're really trying to we're a community. We need to think about how we personally affect our neighbors and the decisions that we make with our decorations, how that's going to be affecting your neighbors, but then also how, if you have a problem, go and talk to your neighbor. Go discuss with your neighbor and see if you can work it out. I'm not trying to defer on, I will make a judgment and I can get involved. Number one, I don't want to. That's the last thing I want to do. I want to provide keeping everything looking great and all that, but I can. We want to. I do think that there's going to be times that I'm going to have to make a judgment call, or administration is going to have to make a judgment call. I would say 95% of the time, residents do, and they work together, and it's not a problem. That 5%, there's going to be someone who says, hey, my neighbor has this, and I don't think it should be there, or someone puts something out that just really shouldn't be. So we'll address those issues. If there are concerns, please email me and we'll walk through that. But like I said, it's all about conversations. We got to work together as a community. This is not a hard and fast administration bringing down the law. I don't want to regulate these things, but we have to have some kind of a standard or a guideline for all residents. So hopefully that clarifies some things. If not, please ask questions. But I'll move on from there and go from there. So. Mary's Place update. So we have a meeting tomorrow with our contractor and our architect. If everything checks out, if we have everything done by tomorrow, which I anticipate, we will be going in for permits for Mary's Place this week. So that's really exciting. A lot of hard work has gone into this. The drawings are coming to shape. There's still a lot of details that I'm still working on, what's all going to be in the storage spaces and all those kinds of things. There's lots of details, furniture, fixtures, equipment. All those details are getting kind of fleshed out now, but we have the actual drawings where we can go in and get permits and start the construction. So the timeline, as of right now, permits go in this week, and then depending on the city and how fast they respond to that, we could be starting construction by the end of this month. So we're hoping that the city gets on this right away and we start construction. Once again, just a reminder, the game room, the art room, and then the video room, that's kind of phase one. We're going to start construction in those areas. That'll take about a month to 2 months, depending on how long we need to get things done. And then we'll move right into Mary's Place and the library. So that's anticipated, the library and Mary's Place to get probably started sometime in August, September. So just a little rough timeline for you there. So I think that is all I have to report. Any questions, clarifying questions?
Unless the house washers have been there since noon, Becker Circle has not been started.
Okay,
And I wish we'd have gotten more communication. We didn't know, or I didn't know, that Quail Run was gonna be done first. Because I have people, my residents and Becker Circle people saying, where are they?
yeah, so today's the first day, and whenever you start a project like this, there's things that happen. I would talk to them this morning, and they had every intention of starting on Becker Circle today. So I believe that's happening, but, things could have happened that I just haven't heard about yet. So our intention is to start on Becker and then work that direction.
And also, they didn't come until after 9 o'clock.
And that is mostly for residents, so that residents, you late risers, you retired people, don't have to start listening to noisy engines at 8 o'clock in the morning. So some of that is designed. We will start closer to 8 o'clock. Like I said, today's the first day, so give us a little bit of grace on that. We'll get this going and it will run like clockwork.
Okay, and the other question, are you going to have another resident meeting about Mary's Place and things now that you've got more finalized?
I don't have anything scheduled as of yet. I do anticipate that we'll have some meeting to kind of share final plans. Tomorrow's all about reviewing the final plans, the draft. I've seen drafts, so once we have that approved, then I will set up something for residents to kind of come and listen. Not a lot's changed, probably the most in the art room, game room, and video room, not a lot's changed as far as construction, but there has been some changes in the library, so we'll get something set so we can share with residents.
And LTA Area 5. Greg, on the pressure washing, in my area there are a number of houses who have brand new siding. Can people opt out, or do you want to do them even if they're less than a year and a half old?
So I will say this, since there are some areas, so on Ermine, Davidson, this side of campus, there is some buildings that have new siding. If that siding is looking brand new and there's not mildew growing and stuff, it looks dirty, then I'm fine deferring. If residents would like to, they can put in a work order. There have been, I want to say, maybe 2 to 3 people that have already done that. I will say, unless you have new siding, I want the pressure washing done, because that's a maintenance issue. I want the houses washed so it doesn't start looking dingy. But if it has new siding, then I will say we can skip you this year and not do it.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Okay, thanks very much, Greg, appreciate it. I appreciate your job and the variety of decisions and opportunities that it presents you every day. Craig Spivey.
All right. Okay, so for our census, where we're standing right now, we actually have, we have 8 homes that are being refurbished in the village right now. 7 of those are reserved. The other one that is available, we have a couple of people that are contemplating taking that one, so we should be full here really soon. We have 3 Ashwood apartments being refurbished. 1 of those is reserved, so we have a 2-bedroom and a 1-bedroom, or 1-bedroom plus den that are available right now. We've had, so far this year, we've had 9 move-ins that represent 17 new village residents this year. We've experienced 11 move-outs. 3 of those were transfers to higher care of living area, higher care at Quail Run. So far this year, we've seen a 53% increase in the number of applications to come to Mennonite Village over this time last year. Last year, it was a little bit slow at the beginning, and we were kind of wondering about that as the economy kind of heated up a little. So this year we've seen quite an increase in the number of applications, and we've added 15 new people to our wait list so far this year. At Quail Run, this is where we're experiencing a little bit of occupancy issues, if you will. We have 11 studio apartments available, and we have 2 one-bedroom apartments. I know that's something that always comes up, is I'm waiting for a one-bedroom. Well, we got them. So let your folks know, we have a couple of one-bedrooms. So we have an 86% occupancy rate right now over at Quail Run. We've had 9 new admissions this year, but we've had 22 move-outs or transfers. So we've had a lot of turnover there at Quail. Also a reminder, this month is our 30th anniversary of Quail Run. So on May 30th, it's a Friday. We're going to have a little bit of a celebration over at the pavilion from 11 to 1. You want to come, going to have a barbecue, have some open house. There's going to be music. There's going to be some people coming back. And I know that our administrator, the gentleman who was the CEO or executive director at the time when this was started, is going to be there, Gene Stutzman. So it's going to be fun. So mark your calendar for that on May 30th. At Mennonite Home, right now we have 35 residents. 5 rooms are being worked on for the bathrooms right now. They're closed for bathroom renovation, but we do have 2 beds available, and that includes our village bed over there. Lydia's house, we have 24 residents and 4 available beds there. And just a reminder, coming up next month, June 20th, is our annual Heritage Day celebration on Friday, June 20th. Right now we have 45 vendors signed up to be there. There's going to be carriage rides, live music, and something to put on your calendars right now to let your residents know. Once again, we will have a pie baking contest. We only need 4 judges, so don't storm the troops here wanting to judge the pies. But so that should be a lot of fun again, having that as well. So more information to come on that coming up on June 20th. Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Craig. Rachel, you've got a great list of things to share with us today, so welcome.
It's growing, isn't it? The first time I talked, I think I said 2 words and then ran to my seat as fast as I could. Okay. I can adjust this so I don't have to stand on my tippy toes. Okay, first of all, I'm welcoming new residents. So we have a few new residents that have moved in recently. The first one is Bev France, moved into Ashwood 2. She is in Area 8. Trisha Thompson moved into Davidson Street, Area 5. William Bill Vanacek and Linda Wilds Vanacek moved into Becker Circle, Area 18. And Donna Yoder moved to 53rd Street, which is Area 7. So those are our new friends that moved in recently. The second item is the much anticipated and awaited updates to the village handbook. So meet Jennifer and I after the council meeting ends, and we will distribute the inserts to all the area reps. We brought brown paper bags, so if you forgot to bring a bag with you, we have one for you. If you choose to not pick them up today, they will be available in the Community Life or the Independent Living office through the month of May. So you can come visit us and pick those up. Okay? The third item, this is too high for me. The third item is the meeting and communication matrix, which was published in the May Village Update on the first page. There's a small section of it in Diane's section, okay? That full version will be shared in the addendum to this Village Council meeting minutes. And what we're asking is for you individually or as an area to go through this matrix that kind of goes through and talks about the ways in which staff can communicate with residents and residents can get information and share feedback with staff. Okay, so it goes through and outlines how that works, and we want you to discuss it and provide feedback to Diane by July 1st. Is there something on here that you love? Is there something on here that you don't feel is very effective? Okay, so that's what we're looking for. The final things that I have to talk about are important dates to keep on your schedule or put on your schedule. The first is May 17th is Shred Day. That's from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the Essen House parking lot. A couple questions on that is, how do I bring my items? You can bring it in a box or a bag. There'll be somebody there to help dump it into the shredder. And you may or may not have to wait in line. It depends on how busy it is at that moment that you're there. Okay? The second date to put on your calendar is June 6th and 7th, the Village Garage Sales. So get ready for those. June 12th is the Village Picnic. And more information will be shared in the Village Update as that gets closer in regards to RSVPing for that picnic. August 5th is National Night Out. We will be hosting a National Night Out at the Pavilion. Hot dogs, hamburgers will be provided, and residents who would like to join us can bring a potluck side dish to share with our friends. And then the last announcement is the September 27th. It's the Village Art Show. It will be open to the public and will feature artwork by Mennonite Village residents and current staff. Any questions for me? You guys are so nice to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. And my apologies, Rachel, I didn't put on the list for your agenda items the communication matrix, so the fault lies with me. And thank you for drawing everyone's attention to that information that was in the Village Update. Last month, we had talked at council about the executive committee meeting with Diane Hood and Sarah Hobson, and our goals to enhance mechanisms that residents can give feedback. So this is an example. After the meeting, which was focused on town hall and how to enhance the effectiveness for what is the future of town hall, we broadened the topic and said, what about the other administrative meetings and communications and getting variety of those in front of residents? So this is an example of opportunities to give feedback. It is rather open-ended because it is not a survey. It doesn't say what the questions have to be, which means any individual can review these and give their opinions directly to Diane Hood, as it is listed in the Village Update or email, between now and July 1st. That's a big window, and we actually debated about it. Too much time, will nobody do it because they forgot about it? So act soon, don't procrastinate. But it can be individuals, and we encourage you to discuss it at the area meetings. And why until July? We thought it was important to have enough opportunities for people can remember this is what the town hall format is. There's a town hall scheduled in June, and that there twice a year presentations by Cliff Mars, the CFO, and one will occur in May, and that's on that list. And many of the others, communications. So we encourage you to use this opportunity to give feedback to enhance the communications that you receive. And I thank you, Rachel, for bringing it to us today. And in the addendum, look for that matrix. Moving on. We have not identified any old business for today's meeting. And the executive committee has identified one item for new business. And I need your help because we would like an approval of this if you see fit to approve it. So the process that is outlined in the Oregon statutes for continuing care retirement community refers to an opportunity that a committee of or council of residents will have an opportunity to give feedback during the budget setting process. And so that is a meeting with the CFO, and that's a smaller group meeting, not to be confused with Cliff Marr, the Chief Financial Officer's meeting open to all residents who want to attend twice a year. So last year, Cliff met with the executive committee, and that was good. It was above board. It was meaningful feedback opportunity. However, it was brought to my attention that we really should not just assume that it's the executive committee. So what I am asking of you, and what executive committee discussed, is if we could entertain a motion that if council agrees, that executive committee meet, and it would be in June or July with Cliff Mars, and we would report back to you following that about the budget setting process. So I want to entertain a motion to designate the executive committee to review the budget with the CFO during budget planning process.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second? Okay, Lynn, second. Did you get those, Peggy?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion? Okay, I think we're ready for the vote. I'll do by raise of hand. All in favor, raise your hand. Okay, thank you. Same sign if you're opposed. All right, motion carries. Are there any other motions today for new business? All right. Peggy, did you identify any action items from prior council meetings? I listed none.
Yeah, I did not.
Okay. So we are ready to move to the area reps' questions and comments. And what I like to do, Patricia, is start up here, walk slowly and see if hands are raised and comments and questions. Thank you. Keith wants to start.
Keith Miller, Area 3 Rep. The turkeys are back, but not in the numbers we saw last year. Can you give us a quick update, Craig?
Would you mind, Craig, coming to this mic? It would be great.
So it wasn't on my agenda, but I kind of figured turkey talk would enter this council, and I was correct. So we have successfully caught about a dozen turkeys. And so that is being done mostly off of this campus and across the Columbus, because that property is where all the turkeys are at. So we actually have been successful in catching turkeys. And so we plan to continue, but turkeys are pretty smart and they're kind of wising up. So we're going to be adjusting. I want to make a comment that yes, we have turkeys on campus, and I want to make sure that all residents understand, moving forward, we are probably going to have turkeys on campus. That is going to be a thing from here on out. And hopefully, I pray that they move on and they head to the west of us. But this is something that we're going to deal with it. And yes, we have turkeys on campus, but we don't have the large flock, and we could get that back. But yes, we are doing everything we can to reduce those numbers and to keep those numbers down, because they were fairly out of control.
I can tell you that we've been successful in our area of hazing. We use a broom, we use a rake, and the other day one came through and I was on the phone, so I couldn't chase him off, and I chuckled. He looked and looked and looked, and finally he just left. So it worked.
I would definitely encourage residents to keep doing that. I believe this is a long game. This is a long game, not a short game. We're going to see improvements, I believe, over long periods of time.
Larry?
Larry Halverson, Area 6.
I think it's important though to remind everybody on the hazing the turkey not to do anything that's going to hurt them now. I did see one turkey that looked like somebody had hit it or something because it was limping and, yeah, so just be sure, if you're hazing them, don't do anything that might hurt them.
Okay. Going along, are there questions? Lynn?
I have a comment about the parking for when there are estate sales and then coming garage sale. We had one about a week or so ago, and you could not get down Irvine. You could barely walk down Irvine for the traffic on both sides. And I was wondering if there's a way to either we put in a work order to get the no parking signs, or you make the seller responsible, or what solutions can we come up with?
Yeah, so we have parking, no parking signs, our grounds department is totally willing to put those out. It's really just that communication between the person that's doing the estate sale and the grounds department. So if we're notified, we're happy to do that, and we did respond, once we figured out, we have a traffic jam on Irvine, we got signs out and tried to get that cleaned up as fast as we could. So, yes, for residents and neighbors, if someone's doing an estate sale, your family, whoever, let them know that we need to get notified. And I've been in contact with the couple estate sales that are our frequent flyers and have asked that they let us know. So this last one we did not, but we're trying to do that and trying to be better at it.
Would it help if a resident might put in a work order?
If a resident knows there's going to be an estate sale on a date, I would love that. Why don't we do this, just so we don't flood the work order line? Shoot me an email. That'd be great.
Okay. And the other thing, I had a resident say to me that he's really sorry to see all the whimsy in the forest go away.
Me too. All right, Patricia, keep it moving. Meet your partner midway. No hands up. Any questions?
Donna Springer, Area 24. I've had questions in that area about irrigation. Is it going to come on soon because our stuff is
Yes, it is. Sorry, I had a chicken scratch at the bottom of my notes and I forgot to read it. Yes, that irrigation's coming on this week. We are about 3/4 of the way done through campus, testing and making sure everything's working. There's the last quarter, and I believe it's up on this side of campus towards Columbus that we're still working through. But I believe the irrigation towards the east is all on, and then we'll finish that out this week. So yes, irrigation's getting turned on.
okay, and will it be the same schedule as last week, last year?
Yes, same schedule as last year, yes.
Okay, we're wrapping up. No more questions.
One more.
Okay, thank you.
Pat Scotty, Area 11. I'm not sure if this isn't a question, it's a statement. Mary Ann gave me very clear instructions, but by now I have forgotten about it. But I think this is what she wants me to read, because it does sound like her. In our latest meeting, we brainstormed, what do we like about Mennonite Village? And here's our list. We love the walking areas. The staff are always pleasant. We really admire the people who do the interviews for new hires. They're doing an excellent job. The work order system is great. We like the leadership connection meetings. The IT people are a great addition. We like the security of living alone here where other help is available. And we like the fact that many volunteer opportunities are available.
Thank you, Pat.
That was Mary Ann Curtis. clerk's message, I'm just reading it.
Well, excellent. We began with thank yous and gratitude, and we're ending with thank yous and gratitude. And with that, not only are we ending 10 minutes before 3, there are refreshments. So how's that for gratitude? Thank you.